Hey everyone, I'm Amanda Lynn from Speaking English Today, and what we're going to go over today is a review of a video that I just recently made, and that video is called What If My English Is Not Improving? So if you'd like to check out that video, I'll leave a link in the description below. And what we're going to do today is just go over the grammar together. So I wrote down just pretty much notes. I wrote down the mistakes that were made. There were some pronunciation things that we're going to go over, and also some tips. So let's just, let's not even talk about it. Let's just get right into it. So, okay, we're going to learn a lot here. Okay, so here are my notes. What if my English is not improving? So we have our first grammar mistake here at the top. I opened up some books that I have long not open. So can you tell me where the mistake is here? Do you know? Did you catch it? Okay, should be right here. Opened. So I opened up some books that I have long not opened. All right, next one. I went on full mode of reading. What should this be? It's definitely a mistake, but as you're watching this video, try to catch the mistake and correct it before I even get to it, okay? So this should be, I went on full reading mode. I went on full reading mode. So that means, it's kind of an idiom. That's what a native speaker would say. It's like, my mindset was all about reading, and that's what I did with all of my time, just reading. Next, it can be considered like introvert mode. Okay, it's definitely a mistake. I think I need to rephrase this. I know what's trying to be said here, but let's turn this into it can be considered like an introvert mode or something. That would sound really natural. Okay, so not really going for grammar here, more like trying to sound like a native speaker. If a native speaker is not really sure what they're saying or how to say what they're saying, this is something that they could say. It can be considered like an introvert mode or something. Notice the pronunciation here, not or. Introvert mode or something. Try to copy also my intonation if you can. That imitating me is a really good way to improve your English. It wasn't taught in a way that everybody was interested in the class. Okay, so talking about English, English wasn't taught in a way that everybody was interested in the class. Let's say it wasn't taught in a way that interested everyone. So made everyone interested. It wasn't taught in a way that interested everyone in the class, or it wasn't taught in a way that made everyone interested. The whole environment was like, it isn't a big deal to learn English. Okay, so I know what we're trying to say here, but let's fix it. The whole environment felt like all right. And since we're talking about the past, I want to say wasn't. The whole environment felt like it wasn't a big deal to learn English. Much better. All right, and I have a little star here. This means that this is an idiom that we used in the lesson. I think it has backfired. So we were talking about a strategy. I think it was learning grammar. And he said that it backfired on him. So if you say that something backfired on you, it's like you tried something to improve something, but it actually turned around and hurt you in the end. So I tried to, for example, I tried to learn grammar, but it backfired on me because now I can't speak so fluently because I'm scared to make a mistake. So learning grammar backfired on me, you could say. All right, so we have a tip here that we talked about. Practice talking to others in English. Yeah, it's not easy to find a native English speaker to talk to. You can try to exchange your language with a native speaker, but that is time consuming. Okay, so let me go over this. So you can use language exchange websites like Speaky is one. italki is another, italki community. There are others. I think Buddy Talk is another one. So you can find people that are also learning English and they'll practice with you. That's a really good way to practice speaking. You have to, you've got to practice speaking. So it's definitely better to have a partner than to talk by yourself all the time, because that can feel weird. Good to do, but yeah, it feels kind of weird. So yeah, it's not always easy to find a native speaker to talk to, and this is one problem that a lot of people are having. It can be really hard to find a native speaker that's willing to talk. Some people can try to exchange their language with a native speaker. Personally, I don't recommend it. I have tried it before with two other languages that I was learning, Korean and Indonesian. And if you are exchanging your language, you're spending half the time teaching them your language, and then they spend half the time teaching you their language. It's very time consuming. You're wasting quite a lot of time, unless that's something that you really enjoy doing. I found that taking the time to teach someone else really cuts into my time to learn a language. So if you really want to talk to a native speaker, I would highly recommend finding a tutor. italki.com and also verbling.com. Those are great websites for getting tutors, and they're all different prices. So I think there are even some native English teachers that are $8 for an hour. So if you only get, like, let's say they're $10 for an hour lesson, then you get that, you take one lesson once every week, then it's just $10 a week. So that can be affordable for some people. All right, going down. I learned without much examples. Can you catch the mistake here? I hope you did. I learned without many examples. Next tip. Don't spend a lot of time learning English in a way that is boring to you. You need to keep your momentum and motivation going. Don't stress yourself out. This is really important. Yes. All right, here. Pay attention. So if you are learning English in a way that is boring, stop. Like, just stop. Like, take some time to enjoy learning English, whatever that is for you. Like, watch an interesting TV series, or talk to people that also want to learn English, or do something, read a book that you're interested in. Do something that's fun for you. Don't just stress yourself out, because here's the thing. If learning English feels like a chore for you and you feel stressed, then your brain is going to block that information. So when learning a language, specifically, the experts say, if you learn a language under pressure and stress, then your brain will shut off that gateway to remembering what you're trying to learn. But if you're enjoying your time, if you're having a great time, your mind is open and you're actually enjoying the experience. And you're learning faster because your brain is open to accepting that experience. So this is really important. All right. Our next tip is practice imitating native speakers on videos so you learn to sound more natural. Being overly obsessed with grammar will slow down your speaking. Okay, so use this technique I like to call the imitation technique. Listen to a native speaker on YouTube or whatever TV series you like. Try to pause the video and listen to how they say, listen to the rhythms of how they talk, how they pronounce the words, and pause and repeat. And pause and repeat and pause and repeat. And if you just keep doing that, just copy, copy, copy native speakers, you're going to sound like one. I mean, everyone says they want to sound like a native speaker, but you would be surprised how many people don't want to spend the time to copy native speakers. I mean, you got to. In order to sound like a native speaker, you have to copy them. So yeah, take time, listen and copy, listen and copy. Another thing, being overly obsessed with grammar, that can slow down your speaking. So if you notice that you're talking really slowly or you're going, uh, all the time, and like you're like, you just can't get it out. Yeah, stop thinking so much about grammar and focus on your fluency. It's okay to make a mistake. Native speakers in America make mistakes all the time and they couldn't care less. All right, so back to my notes. Okay. The security guards had a lot of time on their hands. So this is our idiom. Have a lot of time on your hands. It basically means that you have a lot of time, but saying having a lot of time on your hands, it just sounds more natural. So there's an idiom. Okay. Have fun learning because we kind of talked about this. The more you are enjoying the process of learning, the more your mind will open up to learning. Yeah, we talked about this, but just to drill this idea into your head, conversely, the more stressed out you are, the slower you will learn a language. This is true, proven by science. Science has told us this. Okay. And yeah, don't confuse grammar with fluency. Grammar and fluency are two different speaking skills. So practice them separately when you're practicing your speaking skills. When you're practicing your grammar and speaking, you can slow down and think about how you're forming the words. But when you're practicing your fluency, don't be practicing grammar now. You gotta, when you're practicing fluency, you gotta hurry up. You gotta speak a little faster. All right. So how do we practice fluency? Good question. Take like a minute to just speak without stopping, without thinking about, oh, I can't remember a word, or how do I structure this sentence? Just speak. Don't stop. Just speak for a whole minute. Then again, try to go more. Oh, 2 minutes. Then 3 minutes. See how far you can go without having to stop to think. And that's you practicing your fluency. Start with easy topics first, then move on to harder and harder topics. Okay. Pronunciation. I like to use these forward slashes for pronunciation. How do we pronounce this word? Informative. Informative. so you can see me actually saying it. Informative. Say it with me. Informative. You can record yourself to see if you sound like I do, because sometimes it doesn't sound the same in your head as it does when you listen to your own recording. And I know, because when I listen to my own voice, I'm like, who is that? And also, you can use a mirror when you're practicing pronunciation. So use a mirror, check to see if the way my mouth is moving is the way your mouth is moving. Informative. All right. And our next idiom is on the list. Get back to our list. Jot this down. This is an idiom that means write. Write this down. Jot this down. Grammar. I haven't heard any teachers in the local saying anything about this. What's missing? Oops. Area. I haven't heard any teachers in the local area saying anything about this. Goodness, I'm talking about a lot of tips, you guys. You can use the IELTS speaking band descriptors to circle where you are and what goals you want to have to move up to. Okay, so if you follow this link, and I'll post it in the descriptions below, you can get a printout of the different speaking skills and the different levels of speaking from 0 to 9. So you can choose where you think you are in this chart and circle it, and then look up from there and see what skills would be considered higher than that, and then you create your goals. It's important to have goals. Otherwise, you're just learning English forever and you feel like you're getting nowhere. All right, next, grammar. Even if half of them is not understandable, I just give up. Even if half of them are. Did you catch that? Even if half of them are not understandable, I just give up. And actually, I see native speakers make this mistake all the time. So if you make this mistake with is and are, don't beat yourself up. We do it all the time. I know I do it all the time. Currently, there are parts of the language that I'm weak. Did you catch it? Weak in something. Currently, there are parts of the language that I'm weak in. So we only focus on one area so we get it nailed down really quickly. Okay, and I made a note here, normally, native speaker, normal native speaker mistake. Okay, where's the mistake? Quickly. Did I actually give you the answer? I might have. Some native speakers, they will say quick, like do it quick. That is normal for a native speaker to make that mistake. So if you make this kind of mistake, don't worry about it. But you can know that it's wrong. Speaking English by myself never gets old to me. I don't see anything wrong with this. Moving on. I don't focus on grammars that much. I just talk whatever I want. Do you see the mistake here? Grammar, not grammars. I don't focus on grammar that much. I see a lot of people make this mistake. Not native speakers, like people learning English. I just say whatever I want. That's a good one. Take a note there. All right, for pronunciation, it rolls off my tongue. Okay, so it's almost like saying it's easy to say or it's easy to talk. It just rolls off your tongue. Okay, so rolls, it rolls off my tongue. Notice the ng at the end of tongue. It just rolls off my tongue. All right, pronunciation. Let's do that one more time. Make sure you got this, okay? Rolls, rolls, tongue. It rolls off my tongue. English sounds so weird. Okay, there is a guy I saw on internet. The internet. There is a guy I saw on the internet. All right, idiom. It might sound like he is rambling. I don't know if that's an idiom, but let's call it a vocabulary word. Rambling is just talking on and on and on forever. You're like, you just talk. Someone that does not stay on topic, they move from topic to topic and they just talk and talk and talk. So do you know anyone who rambles? Think about that. If you're learning this vocabulary word, think of someone who rambles. That's a good way to remember the word. I definitely know someone who rambles. All right, moving on. Ooh, we're almost done. Okay, two more, you guys. He can talk into so much details about something. Did you find it? He can talk in so much detail. He can talk in so much detail about something. I was so fed up by that. Actually, it kind of sounds correct, but I want to say with. I was so fed up with that. I was so fed up with that. With it almost sounds like with that. No, with that. I was so fed up with that. All right. So that is our review of the video. What if my English is not improving? So if you have any questions about English, I would love to make a video answering your question about how you can improve English. What are you struggling with right now? Let me know in the comments below and I'd be glad to help you out. So again, this is Amanda Lynn at Speaking English Today, and keep studying.